Really some great red zone work. We talked all in our meetings about how important today would be to get that red zone work, not only in skill, but in teamwork, and really showed them some examples of last year, how it can alter games. You know, I think back to the Arizona State game, getting a turnover deep in their territory, Chris Hawkins scooping up a ball and going with a touchdown, and how kind of that broke that game open. And then playing Arizona last year, and all of a sudden Platt gets a big interception with us down 14-3 in the red zone, and how that turned that game around. So we really challenged our guys how important, one, defensively getting stops, getting turnovers, making the other team kick field goals is, but also offensively. You know, every 4 times you're down there inside the 20, you need to get 3 scores, you know, and that's what we always shoot for, touchdowns, not field goals. So really challenged them today, and really liked how the defense performed. I thought from when we got down there, they had an attitude about themselves, and really it spoke volumes from where they're at right now. From day one of spring to right now where we're at, I told them it's light years from where they've come. Not only learning the system, but also some personnel that has come in. The other thing that I've really seen and I've really noticed over the first 4 days is just, as you can tell, the competitive atmosphere that's out here right now. Not only offense versus defense, I'm actually having to pull Juju's helmet back so he doesn't get on the field the rest of the day, but offense and defensively it's competitive, but even positionally right now, it's so competitive. I'm watching Skell and I'm watching the 2 quarterbacks put on a passing clinic. You know, you watch the offensive linemen, I'm seeing Chris Brown and Damian Mama just compete their butts off to earn that starting spot. Linebackers, safeties doing the same thing. So it's really neat to see the competitive atmosphere that's going on. I think tomorrow's a really big day for us. You know, as a coach, I've always loved day 5 in training camp, because that's the first day you can put on full pads by NCAA rule. And we're going to the Coliseum. So it's a great opportunity for us to do a couple things. One, to get a bunch of young kids in the Coliseum, in that venue, and see how they react for their first time. It's a different environment when you step in there and see that beautiful stadium. The other thing is just the ability to practice the art of tackling. You know, to be able to get on full pads and really help our defense, whether it's our angle tackle drill that we're going to do tomorrow, whether it's team run with live tackling, whether it's a little bit of scrimmage at the end, being able to put them in some live tackle situations. And then the most thing I'm excited about is just seeing where our run offense and run defense is. You know, it's hard when you can't go to the ground right now in shells and shorts the first 2 days, but now you're going to get to see exactly where you are after 5 days of good work in your run game. So very pleased where we're at right now. I'm very thankful for 25 more practices. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you have.
Any injuries?
Right now, they're just major just dings, you know, the Juju with the toe, just holding him out. Justin, just a little bit of a hip and knee, nothing serious, but just enough where it's enough to pull him out. So there's just a lot of bumps and bruises, but not a lot of major injuries, which after 4 days of good practice in a row is good. We're going to make it through tomorrow, get through that 5th practice, and then we're going to take one of our days off. So crossing our fingers, everybody say prayers tonight for a good practice and a healthy practice tomorrow.
You said
Chris and Khalil Rogers, those 2 guys, did Khalil not go today?
Yeah, Khalil is going through a concussion protocol right now. You know, we'll monitor him. You know, that's all based on testing, how he's feeling. I know he wants to be out there, but there's certain tests and protocol that, you know, we protect our players with, and even though they want to go, there's certain tests they have to do prior to being able to get back out there.
You said that you're going to have 3 scrimmages. When do you foresee the first one? Is it this week?
It's actually when we come back off our off day, you have that 2 a day. The morning will be a shorts helmet practice. It'll be very light. It'll be a review, and that afternoon is the scrimmage. So that'll be the first scrimmage is after the day off. We should be good and rested and be able to get some live scrimmage atmosphere.
What have you seen from Chris Brown at that guard?
doing a great job. You know, he really did a tremendous job in the spring, and that's one of the reasons he kind of started off, you know, in the fall. But that's a competitive job right now. You know, nobody's won that job. I anticipate, you know, Coach Callaway kind of mixing them in with the ones back and forth. But Chris got the honor. You know, he came away in the spring having played a little bit better than Damian, being more accountable. And, you know, it kind of lit a fire under Damian. You know, I was so neat today. My favorite play of the day is we're sitting out there and Coach Martin calls power right, and Damian comes up to me and says, "Hey, Coach, this one's for you." He knows how much I like it. And he pulls and absolutely annihilates the inside linebacker. So you can really see a fire under him, and that's what I'm talking about. When there's competition, it brings out the best in everybody. And that's the difference I see. Tim and I were just talking about the difference that we've seen now compared to years past when we were thin. You had a great first team, and then there was a drop-off with the second. When it's Chris Brown and Damian Mama, Vianney and Jordan Simmons, I mean, that's what you want. I mean, that's the competition level that you want. And I could go on and on, you know, with Nico and Toa. I mean, Toa. It's one of those things that, man, it's neat to have for our team.
D-line, you got, I know, all the talk coming in and thin and, you know, a problem and all that. Has your opinion changed about the D-line at this point?
I tell you what, one, you can see some young kids growing up, but also all of a sudden to add a Stevie and to add a Josh Fatu, two old souls. You know, you're talking about Stevie's 25 years old. He's married. He's a grown man. You know, that he's, you know, to add that maturity in the room is huge. And then Josh, you know, I thought was maybe one of the better takes that we took in that recruiting class, just from the maturity level, the physical maturity level that he brings to the table. It's made an instant impact. And then I thought it was a good move to be able to move Khalil Rogers over, the maturity that he brings to the room. It's kind of lifting the young guys up. It really is. And now I'm seeing some performance by some young guys, and reps always count. You know, I remember, like I said, Damian, Vianney, Toa, you know, being able to be out there, and all of a sudden they grew up before our eyes and after reps, and I expect the same thing from these young guys.
How does the evaluation process change once they're in full pads?
Yeah, when you get those live reps, I think a lot of things happen. You see how quarterbacks react. You see the physicality of your offensive line and defensive line. You get to see runners run. You know, I'm blowing the whistle when they get touched or wrapped up. That's not the case a lot of times when you're going full tackle. They break through tackles. Their legs explode on contact. So it's really good work to see exactly where you're at, you know, from that standpoint. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a big day for us.
Talk about tackling tomorrow. Are you teaching tackling any different? I mean, there are people talking about how they're tackling now.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, I think the game has really changed, and it's changed for the better because of the safety rules. You know, you see all the things that's going on with helmet-to-helmet tackling and the things that from a safety standpoint. Every time that we go into full pads, the first thing that we do is we teach tackling to all our players, keeping their eyes up where their heads should be. You know, and there's a lot of great information out there. And I tell you, one of the neat things that's going on right now is people. I was actually watching today the Seattle Seahawks video of the rugby tackling that's become big in the NFL, and a great tool to have in your toolbox. So that's one of the things that we'll be executing and teaching.
Do you guys teach that much?
Hmm?
You guys teach that much, the rugby style?
It's part of it, yeah. It's part of being able to teach your tackling drills, and teaching, you know, what hip to attack, to be able to keep your leverage, low pad level, actually running through the tackle 5 good steps once you make contact, not letting your feet die, putting hat on ball, you know, to be able to. We showed a turnover drill of NFL players. One of the leading causes of fumbles last year was actually getting your hat on the football. So those are all things that you try to get across to your players to be able to carry over to live games.
Coach Bradford was talking about 2013 when he said there were kind of 5 backs in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
How many running backs have you seen earning their way into kind of getting some carries?
You know, I think that we've got some young kids that are really maturing, and I thank goodness they got the playing time they did. You know, Justin is what he is. We know that he is a very, very complete back, but to see the progress of Rojo, you know, both catching the ball, learning pass protection, you know, Sed Ware, I think is going to be maybe the next Justin Davis. I mean, he's that type of style of back. You got your fastball with Dominic Davis that provided us some really, you know, nice plays last year. And then there's 29 out there right now who I was very impressed with Vi today. You know, just his physical maturity and his mental maturity to be. He's a very smart kid who's picked up this system. You know, so we're in a good place right now with those guys. You know, I think when you're running the ball and let's say you have 80 plays and you're a balanced offense and you're handing that ball off at least 40 times a game, you know, no back can carry it 40 times and make it through a season. So there's going to have to be multiple backs. 5 carrying the ball at one time in a game, that may be hard. Usually that happens when you're way ahead in the game and you try to get everybody in so they can get that experience. But there will be multiple backs carrying the ball. That's today's game.
Thanks,
Is there
Mike.
more